And so I talk a lot about this, right? And how did I even get to know about this? Well, if some of you heard my story, you'll know that at some point of my career, I was recruited. They thought I would be a good person on their side. I was recruited to business owners meetings in Metro Atlanta, as well as scientific meetings where I got to meet Dr. Craig Venter, okay? And so in these meetings, they talked about this whole transhumanist movement and how it was great. We would be the controllers in the room. Don't worry, we would be exempt. Everybody else would be controlled. I was horrified. I was horrified to see everybody standing ovation and clapping for this. Like, who are they? And I asked, how could you be for this? They said, oh, well, it does sound a little bad, but you know what, Carrie, soon it's going to be us or them. And so we have to, you're going to want to be on our side. You don't want to be on the other side. It's going to be bad. I said, I would never do that. And you're a fool. You're a fool to think that this technology wouldn't be turned back on you, because we are human beings, right? And they have a supercomputer that wants to guide all of this. A computer doesn't care who you are. It has an algorithm. You have a dollar sign in your head. It's not like the Marines, all for one, one for all. A computer sees it as foolish, it's frivolous, right? So I had all this knowledge. That's how I got to know how to research for it. But I was still not happy. I'm a person I have to know, right? So I decided I'm going to look inside of these vials, even though it's not legal. I don't care, because if something goes against my God-given rights and my human rights, it is my duty to break that law. This is our world, our planet, our children, our bodies. Don't give it away. It's ours, right? So this is one of the pictures of Moderna. I put 2 drops on a glass slide. I had a compound microscope. That's it, guys. You could get it easily, $300. And I had a white light going up on the middle and a glass top on the very top. And that's it. I waited 2 hours. And it was translucent at first, and all of a sudden, colors appeared. Vibrant purples, blues, reds, greens. I'm like, I've never seen this chemical reaction. There was no chemical reaction, right? So I ended up finding out all these colors, actually, when they appear under a white light, that's a sign of a superconducting material inside these injections. All the manufacturers have that. What that means, it's proof they are putting an injectable computing system inside every single one of these vials. An injectable computing system. Did they say anything to any of us? No. There's little cubes on this one. I'm just showing some of these photos. Here's another one. It's hard to see on this photo, but at the very edge, it's a cube-like structure. We're not quite sure exactly what that is right now. So also I saw a lot of metallic flex fragments. I didn't see anything about metal fragments on the ingredient list, again. And these metallic fragments, to me, look a little more exotic. It's not like your typical aluminum, etc., right? This one is strange. It's so opaque, it leaves its own shadow. This is, some of these pictures are between 100 times magnification, which is nothing, to 400 up to 600 times magnification. This is not nanotechnology. I mean, this is not looking at nanotechnology. This is on a much grander scale. This is crazy. So this picture kind of has been going around, I think. I'm going to give you a close-up of him. This was on the first slide I did, and there's the cover slip, right? So everything gravitated to the very edges of the cover slip. That's where I saw a lot of action. There was a lot of aggregation. There was self-assembling. This is 2 hours. It's not like 12 hours. 2 hours time. I also saw this thing. I was shocked. It actually was able to lift itself up off of the glass slide. You can't see it? Okay. It was able to lift itself up off of the glass slide. It had tentacles like you see here. It was able to move. It is my opinion, it is my interpretation, that it was self-aware. I've never encountered anything like that. I've done slides, I've done all kinds of preparation of slides of biologic materials, etc. Never have I witnessed anything like that. And so I did cry. I cried. And then I thought, well, okay, perhaps that was a fluke. Surely, maybe some contamination, right? So 2 months later, I get another Moderna vial, and I look at it under the microscope, and here's, what is that? Still trying to figure it out, guys. But we shouldn't have unidentified objects inside of these injections. Another of these string-like material, I'm like looking at, I'm like, this almost looks like some kind of a living organism. And then I see another one. And then I cried hard. You may not know what that means. I do. These are parasites that are made to meld with your nervous tissue. Imagine a child that's forming their neural network. I want you to feel what I feel. I want you to get that righteous anger. We need it now. No more. Guess what else it can do? The tentacles, it's called Hydra vulgaris. The tentacles have the ability to give a paralyzing, a venomous, or a toxic reaction. Wow, it sounds like something else I read, right? Why would they want that? Well, Hydra vulgaris is actually a organism, and I don't know what that is. It's an organism that is immortal in the lab. It can continually renew itself. If you chop it up into tiny pieces, put it in a petri dish, it will actually self-assemble itself back over and over and over again innumerable times. It'll make itself anew. If you chop off a tentacle, 3 more will grow. And the transhumanists love this organism. They think it's fantastic. Again, that was 100 magnification, I'm sorry, the last one. So this is the edge of the cover slip. There's a lot of debris, kind of graphene-like material, and then we start to see a lot of ring structures in here. Now this one is with the Johnson & Johnson vial. Let me get to the... So, again, ring-like structures, what they are is they appear to be delivery systems. So they'll start like this and they get bigger, 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 they thin themselves out. A gelatinous material extrudes from it like a hydrogel, okay? And then this was like a bundle of cells growing. What are those cells? We don't know. We need to analyze them. What kind of cells are being injected into people? A crystalline structure, little crystals. Like literally this is like a kitchen sink, dirty kind of experiment going on. These are iridescent silicon-like wafers. If they pile on top of each other, they can make their own circuitry boards. Hydrogel, it's a gelatinous material here. Again, more hydrogel with more of these spheres, these rings. So I saw them in all the manufacturers, all of them. So no one is different than another. I don't care if they come out with a new one, guys. Don't ask me if it's safe to take it. They're all bad. So I was very fortunate to work with Project Veritas recently. So bravo, right? They're amazing. Patriots. Another round of applause. So they will be releasing their findings soon. I work with them. And so we were looking under the microscope at Pfizer vial, and they have documentation to share too from a brave whistleblower. So anyway, in this is a Pfizer vial. You see a lot of these dark particles. These are like graphene oxide particle material. So what we were witnessing over time under the microscope was something called Tesla phoresis. Have you heard of that? So what that means is that you can put all these little tiny like beads, let's say, that have the potential to make their own wiring in the body. And what you do is you just have an external magnetic force or another kind of electric force, let's say, or frequency, and they will start to form and coalesce into a string-like spider web all by themselves. So you just have to put the junk in somewhere, turn on a frequency, and voila, it starts to make its own neural network, a string-like consistency. We were seeing it here inside of this vial, starting to coalesce, starting to form structures. It's a little bit difficult to see, but up there, I don't know if I can do a pointer. Can't see my pointer. Anyhow, there's a stellate kind of figure in the middle. So if you knew what a human nerve cell looked like, a dendrite, it would look just like this. But this isn't from a human, guys. This is from whatever they're injecting inside of you. They're literally, this is my opinion, they're trying to put another kind of nervous system inside of you, but an AI kind, or they're hijacking this parasite to put inside of you. These are my hypotheses. I encourage you to do your own research. And for the people who don't believe me under the microscope, you can get a $300 microscope and you can put the drops on there and you can look and see the pictures too, right? So this is another organism. We see this over and over. This would be like a polypodium or a Hydra vulgaris organism. Again, we see this over. It's not a mistake. It's in different states, multiple vials, multiple batches, multiple times. There's no mistake. Another one. This is very similar to some ectoderm of a parasite. I mean, we could go on and on, parasite after parasite looking. And let me back up. They appear to be parasites, right? If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it probably is, right? Again, more ring-like structures. How is this in the betterment of humanity? Is this why ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine are so banned from everybody? Right? Now we know. I want you to see this guy. This guy is another organism that we saw. This was in a Johnson & Johnson vial. Watch closely the translucent thing that moves around the edge of the ring. Do you see that?
It's got feet, I think.
At first I thought it was another, let me back up and do that again so you can see. Okay. Oops, I'm going to try to do this properly. All right, play. Sorry guys. Anyway, it's a translucent, I thought it was like a larvae, like another life form, but the way it moved was more robotic to me. This could be a nanobot. We don't know. I'm showing you pictures, and I think you don't have to have a science degree. You don't have to have a medical degree to know that should not be in any human body injected into our children, our babies, and us.